Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome back. This is the Handicapable Black Woman. Okay, you guys, how's my royalty? All I have to say, bundle up, stay warm, and yeah, all of the things going on out here. I just kind of recorded one episode, kind of, about, yeah, let's just say a lot is going on, and 2025 has just been a absolutely hot mess. Yes, I'm not going to say none of us have had some great days and moments of the year, but look at all the crap that's been going on, and look at all of the catastrophe, the horrific, awful, terrible things that have been going on, and then the things that our, well, Congress and our government and politics has been forcing us to deal with, Yeah. But then, yeah, off topic, but you already know my channel is as messy as my life. So many men on dating apps, not political, or they refuse to answer that question. If you are still not political this year, after everything, or if you have the nerve to say both sides are the same, uh, mm, then I would want you to witness, sit front row, like go to someone's yard that is like, if you hear about like ICE is going to be coming to their block, I want you to sit right there and watch. You say that both sides are the same. I want you to put a lawn chair again at one of the food shelters. It's like, and watch. Or it's like, I wish it was while the government was shut down, but even now, even during the holidays, especially since tons of factories and companies and things are laying off people and firing and closing down and things like that. And I would want you to also watch some of the families that are trying to be able to buy presents for their children. Yeah, there's so many things, but when you say both sides, which side? And then also, oh, I would want you to see the people who are trying to buy health care, health insurance, but it's skyrocketed so much. Some of them might need to decide if they're going to keep their car or their house or have insurance. But then you have to realize which side, and also the farmers. Yeah. Now some of them are actually going to be getting what they've been fighting against for years and years, but they're only want it because it's going to benefit them because of the tariffs and stuff. But now they're going to get socialism money, but they kept saying that socialism is bad, but it's helping them, right? It's helping them, right? Yeah. So, but then also with healthcare, who's been fighting healthcare for all? Yeah, uh-huh. And then, but then which side keeps cheering on the capitalism of our health system and the education? And then it's like I'm hearing some garbage, which I hope it's not true. I remember I posted and I even said this better be an Onion article. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna look it up because I'll explain it in another episode. But then also, who made mm, the nursing degrees and some of the other degrees from professional to non-professional, and which side is trying to take women's rights to vote and other rights away, and basically kind of making women and people of color feel like we are not good enough. Which one are they're uplifting, and they keep uplifting the colonizing demographic of this country. Yeah. And then which side is blowing up boats and stuff, but then they're saying that it's because of the special candy. But then when you look at things deeper, you're realizing that, yeah, that's not true. Yeah. But yeah, which side? Which side? So, but okay, on that note, because it kind of, oh, and which side also destroyed parts of the White House because they want a ballroom as big or bigger than their ego, but now they keep firing the builders or architectures and stuff because they're saying, no, you shouldn't be doing A, B, and C because these are professionals. These are people who know what they're talking about. But again, his ego, his money, oh, and who has made over around $2 billion this year within his presidency, and who sold tickets to a dinner with his Bitcoin. Yeah, and it's like there's so much more. But yeah, this kind of gives a great like lead in to the power of money. And it's like listening to what's been going on around me when it comes to money, and it reminds me of that song, Money, Power, Respect. I keep thinking of that song lately. I keep saying I'm going to play it, but I'm just like, no, let me wait. Because yeah, there's a part of my novel where I'm like, no, I want to play it while I write that chapter and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm still writing, and yeah. But money, power, respect. And especially when it comes to a lot of men, it's like, I don't know if with maybe they should even do a study with men compared to women, and then even especially the Christian demographic or religious demographic, men versus women, when it comes to money, power, and respect. Because especially even when you look into the Bible and look at the power of respect and the patriarchy and everything like that. But then within our country, within the world, is like the power is rooted from money in so many ways. People will worship you, and people would praise you, uplift you, and automatically say that you must be great because you have that money. You get the respect because you have money. Yeah, and it's just you get power, but then also I I listened and then I went and read an article about once people get so much money, like their brain starts to change. It's like the way they think, the way they behave, and it's kind of like, and so I would really want a study on millionaires, billionaires. It's like maybe even it's like you never know who's going to be the next rich person, but if you can study their brain before and then after, I would want to know what are the chemical changes, what is happening, what is going on, why in most cases, and I repeat, in most cases, have they turned to the villain. So yeah, this is going to be kind of like another villain. Who is, how is, the villain episode. Because while I'm writing my books and stuff, sometimes it's especially, again, okay, you know what? I'm going to just start digging in because you already know one of the examples. Like I said, 2025, who we? The Orange Man. And the thing is, he was born like that. So it's like with him, it would be a really interesting study because those who are born into the money have very little empathy. It's like they kind of think everyone is supposed to be rich, that it's just easy. And since they got it, since they were born with it, everyone should just be born with it. And if you don't have it, that means you didn't work for it. That means you're lazy. It's like I worked at some of the, or at least I was a substitute teacher at some of the more higher up schools, or where the rich kids are, where the more, well, extravagant families are, and some of the things they said. But then at the same time, it's really crazy because even working at some of the schools with the more lower class, more money deficient, demographics, it's like they would say I'm poor just because I have an Android phone. But then it was funny because at some of the other schools or the higher up school, like some of the students had Androids, but with their Androids, oh, they were like, and one of the students, we had the same phone. And they were just like, oh my gosh, you could do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, can you do this, this, and this? I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like, so it's really crazy how the rich demographic or the higher income compared to the lower income students how they see money, how they see materials, and things like that. But with the Orange Man, yeah, he would be interesting to study. And especially now, like with his big, ugly, stupid bill, how now so many people are going to have such a hard time being able to afford health insurance. And on top of that, so many people are getting laid off and fired and let go from their jobs. So, with a loss of jobs and now health insurance, and then he was like, oh, just get them one doll. And then Fox News is like, oh, don't get grandma slippers and stuff. It's like, what in the wow? Like, first, you guys keep talking about a war on Christmas. Now, listen to you. Now, listen, but yeah, remember, you're just entertainment. You're just entertainment. You're not really giving everybody the news. You're just entertainment. And I feel like that's what CBS is about to be, but that's a different story for a different day. Okay. Moving because and you know what? There are so many examples with him, but I already said that I'm going to do an episode where I study the marketing of the Orange Man because since I taught and teach, because yes, I only taught one sales class and stuff, but it's like teaching literally almost, I might be at 30. I have to recount. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I might have been, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like around 30 advertising and marketing classes. The more I do research and compare and observe and look at the Orange Man's cult, I start seeing the different techniques and the different things that he has done that I teach my students on how other businesses have done. And the fact that with everything that he is doing and the way that he's creating more streams of income within the power, and I'm going to be even talking about, because the colonizing side, the MAGA side, the Republican side, that side, they keep saying that Democrats and progressives and liberals are all dumb because they're having the protests of having no kings, but then they don't realize all of the things that he's doing that is showing that he wants to be dictator slash king. But the MAGA group, either they deny it or they want it, but they're calling us dumb because they're just like, yeah, I don't know, acting idiotic, stupid, and ignorant and everything. And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. They're finding, like, even with the bullying and trolling, they love it. But then when Democrats do it back, oh, it's like once you have so much power, once everybody follows every little word you say, once people align with you because they taste that power so much, isn't that right, JD Vance? Isn't that right to Giuliani and all of the other? There's so many of you where first you were just like, no, but then all of a sudden, because of the power, money, power, and then he demanded that respect. And if you didn't give him that respect, he was going to demean you and even say that you have a derangement syndrome because you didn't give him the respect, because you didn't appreciate and adore him and suck up to him and love him, even at your death. Even at your death. But he'll say it's all about him too. Because that money, power, and respect, the power has gotten to, like, the power is just, whew. Okay, but I'm going to get to another example, but just know that I can do a whole series on that, and I do plan on doing some research, because the more that I started looking it up, especially about money changing a person, because the U of M coach, he kind of reminds me of this generation's Tiger Wood, because it's like, okay, because now we're finding like more women are coming out just like Tiger Woods. And you know what, Tiger Woods, he was like, I'm not black. And now, coincidentally, Tiger Woods is marrying, I believe, one of Trump's cousins or family members. Wow, who would have thunk? Yeah, power. Yeah. money, power, respect, right? But yeah, I'll leave, like, yeah. I'll tell, like, well, just think about Tiger Woods while I say, this part, because especially this U of M coach was married, or is married. Well, it will probably be past tense, but I'm not sure, because there's been some where that money that money tastes so good. That money gives the wife so much power. She does not care what you do. Remember all of the orange man's wives? Some of them stuck around until they, like, he cheated so badly, or he left them, or treated, like, yeah. So, and even with the current one, he cheated on her too. Yeah, I was like, okay. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that for another day. But it's just like so many things that my other examples are doing or have done or whatever. You can look at this orange man, and he has done all of the above. But yeah, okay, the U of M coach. It's like, even paying off the woman, and then even with him getting such a powerful title and role, to the point where like, people looked up to him, because leadership, that power, the money gave him the power, and the power gave him the respect amongst the U of M community and everything, football community, and masculinity and things like that. And it's like, so with his wife, he cheated on her with another woman, and now we're finding that he kind of has a collection, kind of. It's like, I don't know if it's similar to Tiger Woods, because we all know what the ones that Tiger Woods, like, actually, was there one that, no, I need to look it up to double check. But I think the lineup were all colonizing looking women, right? Right. Anyway, but he is another example of the money kind of getting to his head, to the point where when that woman went and told on him and quote unquote ruined his lives. But that's another thing. A lot of men, they want to blame women for messing up their lives, when they're the ones who did the absolutely awful, terrible, dehumanizing, despicable, heartless, just vile, just ignorant, egotistical things that you could really think of, right? But then they want to always turn to the woman, because, like, oh, if I cheat on you, be quiet. If I cheat on you, accept it. It's like, if I cheat on my wife with you, keep it hush hush, because I'm a man, right? Because I've even heard men, because when I catch married men on dating apps and stuff, and they're just like, well, my wife doesn't have to know. And he is like, I want to have my fun too. Or she'll be busy with the kids. And I'm just like, you should be ashamed of yourself. But they're not. They're not ashamed at all. And it's like, especially when I say no, and then men try to start offering money. Because remember, money, power, respect. Some men think like, oh, all I got to do is buy her something. All I got to do is throw. And you're going to see that in my Patreon. I have some of the examples on my Patreon. Yes, I screenshotted them. Not all of them. I mean, a lot of them during COVID. I didn't start screenshotting until later on. And I wish I did, because, oh, I would have so many more of those specific examples. But yeah, I have the racist, I have the sexist, I have the ones that hated me because of my education, or the ones that can't comprehend or read, or they want to read into my list of standards, even though it's like, okay, instead of asking me a question, you're just going to tell me why I have that. And or you're gonna say I'm racist because I don't date Republicans or people on the right. But yeah, it's like, that has nothing to do with race, but in their minds it does, because most Republicans are, well, bigoted colonizers, most of the majority of them. But yeah, but then they want to call me racist. It's like, okay, most, not all. And the orange man has even bragged that he has had such an uptick of Black and Hispanic voters like with the last, election, which is disgusting and appalling, but whatever, do you boo. If that's who you voted for, do you boo. But then also with the Republican Party, it's like, and then also a lot of the Republican men show me how poorly educated they are, because they want to keep saying how Democrats with the slavery and everything, but then they don't read into the history. It's like they only read like one sentence or one paragraph of a history book, but then they don't look at the entire timeline. But then they want to say that I must be a Nazi, or I must be, some call me a slave, but then some of the, and they call me Jim Crow, but at the same time they call me racist and things like that, just because I'm not going to date a Republican man. And then some of them call me trash or whatever. But yeah, basically they try to treat me like how the president would treat me. Yeah. Because like they look at the man who has power and they see how the man with power treats women, because calling women piggy and calling women stupid and dumb and low IQ, especially black women, he always wants to do that with black women, just like CK did. Just like CK did. And so and that's why a lot of these men want to tell women they look like men, tell us that we are not smart, tell us that we need to act like the white women. And it's like there's so many different situations where they can't wait to put down a black woman, because, like, when it comes to money, power, and respect, we don't have as much money as a whole. We don't have the power that they hold. And a lot of that is because rooted within the racism, and racism has to do with power. But then when we try to even things out, or even have scholarships for black women, or charities that help benefit black women starting their own businesses, remember that lawsuit I told you about in earlier episodes? I've talked about it so many times, catch up. But then the white men sue because they're like, no, that's racist. Even though black women only get around, I believe it's 0.001, or it's either 0.01 or 0.001 percentage of the business loans out there. Yeah. So you want to take away opportunities for us to be able to at least start trying to even out the playing field a little, because they don't want that. They don't want us to be allowed any power at all. No, of course not. Even though black women are the most highly educated demographic in this country, they want to call us low IQ. They want to call us dumb and stupid and things like that. Yeah, it's like, but you know what? I'm going to save that for a different episodes. But think about that while I talk about all of these men with their money, power, and the forced respect and things like that. Because another example, if you've been watching the Netflix documentary Babies, Babies, it's interesting. But yeah, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, yeah. People even said in the video, and I think it's episode 1 even, how he changed. Once he started getting that power, especially once he started getting that money, and he saw the signs of the money, and he saw the power, and then he forced the respect, and then recording of the women, because yeah, you're going to hear like the harming of women with so many of these examples, because a lot of men, once they get that power, but then they wonder why women choose the bear, because men want power. Men want forced respect. If they don't care how they get it. They don't care if they have to force it. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but yeah, if this hurts you, if my words hurt you in any way, I'm probably talking about you. If you're offended, I'm probably talking about you. But if you're like, oh, that's not me, then hey, congratulations, hallelujah. But when you look at the U of M coach and Sean, P. Diddy, Puffy Combs, when you look at our current president, when you look at Epstein, yeah, see, we're back. Like, see, I keep heading back to the orange man. But yeah, Epstein, money, power, respect. So many people feared Epstein. Why? But then Epstein reminds me a lot about, like, he's very similar to Puffy. He, like, in a lot of ways, if you kind of look at the, like, they like the change and also the fear and also the forced power in the image and the way they used women. It's like he like it's rumored because I said I think he's denied the accusation of him hitting his mother, but it's like other women he recorded. I mean, a lot of the men, once they have so much money, they don't care. Like with women, they think they can do anything and everything to them, and they will have their way. They don't care. And yes, there are so many other examples that I can probably say, but I think even with my dating life, it's like looking at it flip side. So many men do not want to date me once they find out my education, because education, or especially the men who have money and on top of that have the education, or at least the education where they were willing to show their grades. That's something that our current president isn't willing to do, right? But especially the smart guys with the money, the way they are able to capture their power, and the way that it's like they will accept the slow respect in a way. But then also, you have to look at a lot of the athletes. A lot of the athletes out here, yeah. But they get money, fame, respect. It's like yeah, there is some power in it, but the fame, everyone's seeing their name out there. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But also, when the rich want to get richer, because this is why I say, like, the mind changes. Like when they were in the documentary, when they said P Diddy, Puff Daddies, like, yeah, I'll stick to one or the other, whatever. But when they said that he changed, and I've heard that in other cases before, especially with rich men, they changed. And it's like, especially Dateline episodes when, they went, yeah. But I just think it's like a lot of men, once they find out about my education, a lot of men, once they find out that I'm investing my own money, that takes away their power. Because a lot of them, they want me to be in a relationship with them to the point where I have nothing, because they want that power. And a lot of men want the old school relationships because they know that gives them power. And that's why, like, a lot of these quote unquote traditional girls who are making money off of you watching them be quote unquote traditional, but they're not traditional because they're working, they are posting, they're creating for your enjoyment, for your entertainment. So it's kind of like an oxymoron. But yeah, a lot of them don't like that I've invested money. A lot of them don't like that I have that my education. And yes, I have to start all over again because of idiotic, terrible, despicable, no good doctors who, some of them I think were racist with the way that they treated me. Yeah, because when you for years tell me that the pain is in my head and I'm making it up and things like that, telling my mother to whoop me until I walk right, yeah. And majority of these are the white male doctors. Yes, the colonizing doctors. Yes. So no one believed me until ta-da, I got, look what this test shows. So, and I was powerless in that situation. But I'm just, it's surprising, but it's not. Because it's not surprising because I've been watching this for years and decades, but I didn't put the pieces together, especially when it came to even Mr. Lakaki. It's like he loved bombed me and he did so many things because he didn't want me to be like much. And a lot of men, like once they found out my goals, my dreams, a lot of them want to take advantage of me and take from me, and possibly take so much to the point where they thought I was going to give up. But some of them called me stupid and dumb because I didn't give up. Because even with my master, some of them didn't want to deal with me anymore because I was about to work on my MBA, because I just finished my MA, and that's how I ended up with the Jerk, Mr. Lockett. Because once I was halfway done, he would threaten to punch holes in the wall. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.